If you've ever asked yourself, should I pay tax now or later? You're already asking the right question. That's the real difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA. Get this choice roughly right, and you keep more of your future returns. Get it wrong, and you leak money you never needed to lose. I've watched both outcomes up close for more than a decade. Roth first. A Roth IRA is tax now, free later. You contribute after-tax dollars. The money grows, and qualified withdrawals in retirement are tax-free. Traditional is the mirror image. Pre-tax in, tax-deferred growth, and you'll pay ordinary income tax when you withdraw in retirement. Same market, same investments. The tax timing is what changes your ending number. So how do you pick? Start with today's tax bracket versus the bracket you expect in retirement. If you're early in your career in a lower bracket now and you expect to climb into higher brackets later, Roth usually wins. Lock in the lower rate today, then enjoy tax-free income for decades. If you were in a high bracket now and you expect a lower bracket later, maybe you all retire earlier than average or stagger your income. Traditional can be smarter. Take the deduction today, pay at a smaller rate later. That's the intuition. Here's the math behind it. Imagine two investors who put the same after-tax cost to work. One uses Roth, pays tax now, contributes what's left to a Roth IRA. The other uses traditional, contributes pre-tax to a traditional IRA and invests the tax savings as well. If their tax rate is identical today and in retirement, the math ties. The win happens when the rates are different. Lower today and higher later favors Roth. Higher today and lower later favors traditional. That's the clean, honest way to think about it. And it is far better than rules of thumb that ignore your actual brackets. Let's talk 2025 specifics so you're not guessing. While we're here, remember that traditional IRAs have required minimum distributions. Under current rules, RMDs start at age 73. Roth IRAs don't have RMDs for the original owner. That alone is a planning advantage for Roth, more control over when and whether you ever touch the money. Now, most people aren't just choosing between Roth and traditional IRAs. They're also using a 401k at work. Back to choosing. Let me give you 3 simple rules that hold up in real life. 1. If you're in a low bracket now and expect a higher bracket later, Roth is your default. 2. If you're in a high bracket now and reasonably expect a lower bracket later, traditional is your default. 3. If you're unsure, split the difference. Fund both to build tax flexibility. That blend gives future you options when tax law or your income shifts. But I don't want this to sound like theory. Let's put concrete numbers on why the decision matters and why costs matter just as much. Say you invest $300 a month every month for the long haul. At an average annual return of 8%, that stream grows to roughly $447,000 after 30 years and about $1,047,000 after 40. Trim just 1 percentage point off your net return, maybe from higher fund fees or persistent tax drag, and at 7% the same $300 becomes around $366,000 after 30 years and about $787,000 after 40. That S, roughly $81,000 missing at 30 years and about $260,000 missing at 40. Same contributions, same market, 1% lower net return. That's what compounding does with tiny advantages or tiny leaks. And that's your second big lever after tax timing, cost. Whether you choose Roth or traditional, use low-cost funds. Expense ratios near zero keep more of your gains compounding. If your core is a broad index fund, you're buying the market and lowering the need to guess winners. Low turnover also helps, especially in taxable accounts, because fewer trades mean fewer surprise capital gains distributions. Costs and taxes are the 2 drags you can control on day one. Minimize both, and you don't need to be perfect anywhere else. A few common scenarios I see all the time. Early career professional single earns under the Roth phase-out with a long runway ahead. Roth IRA is usually a slam dunk. You're likely to be in higher brackets later. Take the tax now, free forever deal, and you'll thank yourself in 20 years. Rules you should know without memorizing code sections. Roth has income limits for direct contributions, but there's a legitimate backdoor route. contribute to a non-deductible traditional IRA, then convert to Roth. The pro rata rule applies. If you already have large pre-tax IRA balances, talk to a pro before you push the button. Traditional IRA deductions phase out if you or your spouse is covered by a plan at work. Don't assume last year's limits are still current. Both IRA types share the same annual dollar cap. You can split contributions between them, but the total still can't exceed the yearly limit for your age. What about the fear that tax rates will change and make my choice wrong? They will change. Over a 30-year retirement horizon, they always do. That's exactly why future flexibility has value. Owning both Roth and traditional assets lets you dial your taxable income up or down. Pull more from Roth in a high-tax year, lean on traditional in a low-tax year, or mix to fill lower brackets. You don't have to predict the law to benefit from optionality. And no, picking between Roth and traditional is not about picking different investments. Inside either account, you can own the exact same portfolio. The account decides the tax treatment, your holdings decide the return path. My default inside both accounts is simple: a low-cost broad index fund as the core, an automatic monthly contribution the day after payday, dividends reinvested, and one annual rebalance. Boring is not a bug, it's a feature. It's what makes this plan stick through noisy markets. Let's land this with a one-page playbook you can actually follow. If you're in a low bracket now or early in your career, use a Roth IRA in 2025 if you're under the income limits. If you're in a high bracket now and plan to be in a lower one later, lean traditional. If you can't decide, split contributions. Keep your fund fees microscopic. Use your 401k up to the match at a minimum. If you can do more, 2025's $23,500 limit gives you plenty of room, and if you're 50 or older, use the $7,500 catch-up. If you're 60 to 63 and your plan allows it, that new $11,250 super catch-up is a gift. Grab it. Shelter what you can in tax-advantaged accounts. Resist the urge to optimize every headline. Review annually, not hourly. You don't need to be a tax wizard to get this right. You need a sensible bias. Roth when you're likely lower today than later. Traditional when you're likely higher today than later. Plus discipline on costs and contributions. Do that, and most of the heavy lifting happens quietly, in the background, while you live your life. Pay tax at the right time. Keep fees microscopic. Contribute on schedule. Let time and compounding keep score. That's how you make the Roth versus traditional decision in 2025, and that's how you keep more of what you earn. Key 2025 figures used here are from the IRS 401k, limit $23,500 and IRA limit $7,000 with $1,000 catch-up. Age 60, 63 super catch-up $11,250. Roth IRA MAGI ranges of 150k, 165k single and 236k, 246k married filing jointly. RMDs begin at age 73, and the high earner Roth catch-up requirement is deferred until 2026. Sources: IRS news release on 2025 plan limits and notice 2024, 80, IRS Pub. 590A, What's New for 2025, IRS RMD FAQs, and IRS guidance on the Roth catch-up transition.